Your ballet teacher's job is simply to teach you ballet. The boundary is that their job is not Hey dancers, it's Kirsten. Welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to be talking about 5 boundaries I really believe all ballet dancers should have. These are ranging from boundaries with yourself, boundaries with teachers, with your body, with friends, with ballet culture. We're going to cover lots of different areas in just 5 points, and I cannot wait to get started. So the reason why I am talking about boundaries today is number one, because it's been a big theme with the dancers I've been working with as a mindset coach lately. Like a lot of issues coming from boundaries with teachers being broken or never set up, like some toxic and codependent teacher relationships that's creating a lot of fear and anxiety around injury recovery or making a decision about your future or leaving the studio. So I've been seeing a lot of boundary violations and just no boundaries and the issues that come with that surfacing in my clients' lives recently. Also just in my own life, I've been thinking like, wow, I've noticed that as I've gotten older, I've gotten a lot better at, out of necessity, understanding my needs, expressing them better, and then seeing that even though sometimes it's really uncomfortable to set and maintain boundaries, a lot of good comes from it. So I really started to reflect on how boundaries could be a really beneficial thing to incorporate into your experience as a dancer, whether you are a recreational dancer, a professional, or a pre-professional. What I'm really thinking of is in the context of being a high-level dancer. You know, maybe you're watching, you're in that pre-professional phase. I think these will really apply to you, so I hope that you really enjoy and learn something from this video. Please comment down below what some of the takeaways you're getting are from these boundary points. I'd love to hear from you. So the reason I really want to talk about boundaries is actually because I see that as dancers, generally, if you are training seriously, maybe you are an aspiring dancer, you would call yourself a pre-professional or a professional dancer, I think you are well acquainted with how boundaries are not taught or promoted within just mainstream ballet culture. For example, we're taught to really just do everything we're told. We are rarely encouraged to think for ourselves. If we do something that's a little different than the group, we either feel scared of doing so, or we feel judged for doing so, or we are given some negative feedback about that. And though it's not always bad to conform necessarily, I have noticed that as I have reflected on my own journey, and I have worked with lots of dancers as a mindset coach who have struggled with having poor boundaries or absolutely no boundaries with teachers who can be quite narcissistic. I've seen that, wow, even though it's really uncomfortable to start setting up boundaries where there weren't any before, even though it can feel scary to set a boundary in place, wow, do ballet dancers need them in order to be healthy people? To know when our people-pleasing tendencies and training to become codependent, like people-pleasing people, when it just goes way too far and it doesn't serve us. So I want to give you these boundaries as ideas to sort through. I'd love for you to ask yourself, how could these serve me? And I'd love for you to give them a try. So I hope that this video is super helpful. Let me know what you're learning as you watch in the comments. I'd love to hear from you, and let's get started. Okay, boundary number 1 is between you and your ballet teachers. Remember and act like your ballet teacher's job is simply to teach you ballet. The boundary is that their job is not to tell you who you are, what you are worth as a person, what you are capable of, what you should eat, or basically what major decisions you should make in your life. All right? Simply put, the ballet teachers are there to teach you ballet. They're there to give you suggestions, to assist you in your growth as a dancer. And hey, even if your teachers aren't crossing that boundary of literally telling you what you're capable of, who you are, I want to make it clear that sometimes the boundaries are literally crossed in the actions of the teachers, and then sometimes as dancers, we just mentally allow whatever feedback we get from teachers to determine who we are and what we're worth and what we're capable as people. So that is for you to sort out for yourself. Is it a boundary that my teacher, through their actions, are crossing? Are they acting inappropriately or going past their realm of expertise in telling me what I should eat, telling me if I should avoid trying ballet because they don't think you have the body for it, whatever it is? Those would be examples of a teacher crossing that boundary that I think, in my experience, should exist. Especially if teachers are telling you what you should weigh and what you should eat. They are not your nutritionist, they're not your doctor, they're not your dietitian, they are not your health coach. That is not where their expertise is. And so that would be an example of them crossing the boundary. However, remember that even if the teacher crosses the boundary, it is your job to either express to them, hey, you can't say that, or at the very least within yourself have that boundary of, oh, okay, that is not my teacher's job to tell me that. They have stepped out of their scope of work, of their expertise, and entered into an area where they do not have that say in my life. So it's your job to start to do that differentiation work and saying, okay, since that is out of their scope and authority to tell me that, I don't have to receive that from them. Now, walking that out is a different story. It's a little more complex than that sometimes. I don't want to make it seem that simple, but honestly, that's the first step and it can be that simple, okay? The other thing, like I already mentioned, is sometimes it's not that the teacher is literally doing those inappropriate things. It's that, for example, sometimes as dancers, when we are getting positive attention from a teacher, we allow that internally based off of our own perspective and our own choices. We allow that to dictate our worth as a person. And maybe that serves us for a time, but then what happens when the teacher says something that expresses disappointment in your performance? That can very quickly spiral into guilt or shame or feelings of like, I'm really a piece of trash. Oh my gosh, maybe I'm not who I think I am because all of a sudden I disappointed them. You see, when we as dancers don't set that boundary, we can also start to create a toxic relationship with that teacher that is unhealthy, even if it's not the teacher's fault. So I want to make sure that you guys know it's both sides here that we have to look out for. Okay, boundary number 2 is between you and your body. All right, so I would like to invite you into this perspective that your body is not something to master. It's not an enemy to fight against. It is your teammate. It also has a say in your choices and in your success. Why? Because it is your vessel. It is something you are blessed to have, even though we might not always feel that way because we're like, man, I wish I had tiny hips like hers. I wish I had turnout like hers, whatever it is. We are blessed to have these bodies, and I want us to acknowledge and be grateful that our bodies go way past their natural, let's say it like, scope of work. Our bodies were not necessarily designed to do all these crazy things, but we do them anyway in ballet. So I want to add that perspective or share that perspective with you to remind you that sometimes we get really entitled with our bodies as dancers, and we're like demanding so much of ourselves and we don't put that care back in. We take from our bodies, and we don't often show it the respect that it deserves. So the boundary I want to discuss with you is that when your body is expressing a need, listen to it, consider it, and make choices that are for your best interests, like in your mind, your goals, your desires, and your body's best interest. Because without your body as a dancer, your mind can dream up whatever it wants. You can want to do whatever, make any choice, but if your body isn't on board, you will be limited in how far you can go. Ask me how I know. I ignored my body's pain signals for many years, and I still struggle with knee issues to this day, and I have to be mindful of it. So really, the practical aspect of this boundary is that when your body sends you a pain signal, it doesn't always mean like, oh, sit down right away, but it does mean, hey, pay attention. Hey, this area is a little sensitive. It needs some help, okay? So think of it like a care instruction. It's like, hey, watch out. Maybe stop pushing it so far. Take care of it later. Ice it. And don't only just like take care of the pain. Here's a big issue with dancers, and I totally did this. I would like take care of my body only in order to get rid of the pain so then I could just plow forward with my goals. But it's almost like if you're in a relationship with maybe a family member or a significant other, if they're like nagging you to take care of the dishes all the time and you just do it to make them stop talking, then you're probably not actually seeing things from their perspective and thinking proactively next time, like, am I actually taking care of my responsibilities in the house? It's a different attitude to just like make someone shut up or make your body stop complaining versus like being compassionate towards the person or towards the body. Like, okay, what do you need? How is my technique not facilitating your health right now? How is my approach not facilitating your health right now? So use these signals that you get from your body as care instructions, listen to them, and remember that your body is also expressing boundaries. So the more you work with them, the more as a team you can flourish going forward. Okay? Okay. Hey dancers, I'm just going to briefly pause my own video to talk to you guys about the support I offer to dancers individually as a mindset coach for dancers. So what I do as a mindset coach is I support dancers through letting go of things like insecurities, fears, self-doubt, confusion about their path as a dancer, all these mental struggles that prevents us from not only feeling our best, but especially dancing our best. So the support I offer as a mindset coach is to help dancers not only adopt a healthy and confident mindset that helps them perform their best, but we also talk through emotional wellness. That's a huge part that I address in the coaching process, and also career strategy. That's something that I really haven't emphasized on my channel enough. So often I ask dancers about, okay, what's your plan? What's the next step for you? And we design an action plan to get them from where they are to where they want to go in the most efficient and powerful, effective manner. So if that's the kind of support you are looking for, if you're noticing that you are experiencing these mental blocks, these frustrations, these like hangups about like, gosh, why can't I get this right? These insecurities or fears about your future, and you're noticing that's not only impacting your mental health, but your ability to perform, or you're just not sure of how to get from where you are to where you want to be in your career, reach out. My one-on-one coaching program would be a fantastic fit for you. And actually, to assess if you and I would be a great fit for working together, simply click the link in my description to visit kirstenkemp.com, visit my one-on-one coaching services page, learn more about what my services and programs include, and read some awesome testimonials from past clients. And then what you can do is simply click to apply for a free 30-minute consultation. That's where you and I will be able to discuss your challenges you're facing right now, your goals, and assess if you and I will be a fantastic fit for working together. All right, so don't miss out on this opportunity. It's a fantastic time of year while we're still getting started to get the support to really make this your year and to flourish, okay? I want that for you, and so I hope you'll reach out. Again, to do so, click the link in my description, kirstenkemp.com, and I hope to talk to you soon. All right, let's get on with the video. Boundary number 3 is between yourself and yourself. So here's what it is. It is to have the boundary with yourself that you will treat yourself and speak to yourself with the same respect that you show others. Now, hopefully you are showing respect to other people, but chances are you wouldn't be like, oh my gosh, you're so stupid. Why can't you do that? Are you kidding me? Gosh, why are you look so out of shape today. Oftentimes as dancers, our self-talk is habitually so atrocious, and we would never talk to anyone else that way. We don't treat ourselves with very much respect oftentimes. Now, that's different than being self-centered, by the way. Like, some dancers can be quite self-centered in the negative sense, but I also want to share with you that being self-centered as a dancer can also look like being very insecure and having all this very negative self-talk that causes you to constantly focus on yourself. Oftentimes, when I see people who treat themselves with respect, they're also people who actually aren't thinking about themselves all the time. They're not so wrapped up in, I need other people to validate my insecurities. Having self-respect, it just looks like speaking to yourself in the manner that you would speak to other people, so that, you can go out there, do your job, do your best, take care of yourself so that you can do what you want to do and what you need to do. Oftentimes, what I see is the dancers that are judging other people and who aren't being very kind, they're also that judgmental and unkind to themselves. So obviously that's not true for 100% of people, but that's a trend that I've seen. I want to encourage you to have that boundary with yourself, that especially in moments where you're really tempted to be very unkind to yourself, show yourself respect. And I would add on, show your future self-respect. If you're tempted to be really hard on yourself, to push yourself way past your limits for a time to where it's actually very unhealthy, think of future you, respect future you enough to take care of present you. Boundary number 4 is between you and your peers. So these are your fellow dancers. And here's the boundary I would really recommend that you try out for yourself. This boundary, it actually can apply to pretty much everyone. It is that yes, it is good to receive feedback from others. However, the boundary I would like to encourage you to have is that other people's opinions are their business. Okay? So yes, it is good that if someone is like, hey, what you said earlier to me actually really hurt my feelings. It would be very inappropriate, I think, to use the, oh, don't care what other people think attitude. That would be inappropriate in that context. There are moments where it is healthy and good and of good character to care and consider what other people think. However, what I mean in talking about this boundary is that if a teacher is like, you know what, you're really making a mistake by leaving this school. We can offer the best training here. Anywhere else you'll go, you'll get out of shape, you'll get fat, you'll never have a career. Oh, First, you can examine, how does that thought serve them? Is it really considering you? That would be a circumstance where you probably want to create a boundary between, oh, that's their opinion and your opinion is your business. So I can consider what you're saying, but I'm going to filter it through my values and also remember that I get a say in my life. I'm going to consider all that before I just take on your opinion. Because, for example, if there wasn't that boundary there, it would be really easy to, like some of my clients are facing right now, to get scared of, oh my gosh, well, if they think that, I'm going to be blacklisted. They're going to hate me forever. These teachers are going to treat me badly if I don't do what they say. So that is a great moment to have a boundary between saying, okay, I have my thoughts and choices I can make. That's your opinion and that's your business. Same thing goes with peers. I was originally making this point about peers, so let's come back around to that. So with peers, it's very common in the ballet industry for dancers to judge themselves out loud or to talk about other dancers. It creates an environment in which dancers feel paranoid about being judged because they have lots of evidence through their experience that it's likely they are being judged. So when we as dancers are scared of being judged, we edit ourselves, we hold back, we step out of our authenticity and we start editing ourselves in order to not be judged. So we start living according to the fear we feel about being judged. So that is a really great moment to enforce that boundary and say, okay, their opinion and their judgment is their business. What do I think? Okay, even if they are judging me, what does that have to do with me versus what does it have to do with them and how they're doing right now? So that's a really healthy boundary, in my opinion, that all dancers could benefit from setting. Okay, boundary number 5 is between you and ballet culture. Okay, so here is the boundary that I want to encourage you to set. It is to decide when enough is enough for you. What do I mean by that? Enough is enough with perfectionism, with workaholism, with the fear of scarcity of, oh, I have to do this and this and this and drive myself into the ground and ignore all my injuries because, oh my gosh, if I don't do this audition season, it's all going to go to waste and I'll never be a dancer. Okay. These are common fears that are perpetuated according to the common perspective that is, perpetuated by the ballet industry. The perspective that is often accompanied by beliefs like, we'll never be good enough. There are so few jobs out there, so we have to be perfect, whatever it is. decide first what is important to you and what enough looks like for you in terms of how hard you can reasonably work each day. What are the expectations you can reasonably set for yourself and achieve? What are the goals that are healthy for you and achievable for you while still being a bit of a stretch? When is enough for you in terms of worrying about your future when all you really have is right now? Having that boundary of asking yourself, okay, when is enough for me in multiple areas of your experience as a ballet dancer, that is so helpful. And dancers, I want to round out by saying, if you apply any of these 5 boundaries, if not all of them, wow, you will be able to really step into confidence in who you are, stability in what you think, clear knowledge of what you want for yourself and what your goals are, so that you can understand when you're being tempted to push past what is good for you and what is something you actually want for yourself. Because I see again and again, and I was this dancer, I let myself be pushed past my limit so many times because I just let myself be pulled around by what do they think, or what should I do, or what is everyone else doing? What are my teachers saying? Oh, I can't pay attention to my body because I gotta rehearse. Okay, I let myself be pulled around so much, and I see it as such a common struggle in dancers. So dancers, you have the right and the ability to set boundaries. Remember, this is your life, this is your body, and this is your journey as a dancer. You get one. So use it the way that you want to. And I just know that this is the kind of work on yourself that it's not selfish. It's not selfish at all. It actually allows you to be well and to give more from taking care of yourself first. That is really, really, really important. So remember, you deserve that. You are worth that. I hope that this video blessed you today, and that at least one of these boundaries really clicked with you. So let me know which one of them you're really excited to try out in your own life. Subscribe if you haven't already subscribed to this channel. Like this video if you enjoyed it, so I'll make more.